Welcome to YILDIZ Readings 5D. I'm a psychic medium. We are here to do your guided messages for this month, as well as I am going to be covering weekly energy for your zodiac signs pertaining to romance. So if you do want to have a look at those, please click the bell. Also keep an eye on the community tab where I update you of regular content that has been uploaded. Very separately, we have the Twin Flame Collective Energy that I'll be coming to you monthly with, and feel free to join us for all the super chats. So please sit back, relax, enjoy the channeled messages. If you have any questions, please write them in the comment box directly below, and if you're wanting a booking, the information is within the video. Love and light, guys. Let's get into the read. Hello, my beautiful Aquarius. We are here to do your psychic reading. So if you're new, a very warm welcome. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame coach. If you are a twin flame and you need guidance, I am in union. I have worked through the ascension process. I'm still on my path. We do have the live readings, and they're not just monthly, they're the entire month I come to you live, as well as we have the very separate section, which is the coaching room. It's private, we do readings in there, and it's in the safety and the privacy where we feel we can be open without judgment. So if that's something you'd be interested in, we do have that there, but it doesn't take away from the collective messages that I bring throughout the month. So there will be a monthly romance read separately, but there is a love energy inside of this reading. I have pulled week by week energy, and once we've moved through that and I've talked about the ruin, which I'm going to come from the book, camera, and I've pulled a crowning crystal, we'll get into how your weekly energy is affecting your romance house. But yes, separately, romance read. So number one, we do have Mercury going retrograde. It is in your first house placement. We also will have a new moon in Aquarius at 23 degrees on the 11th. So brief update on that note. It is first house placement. It's transformations happening. The way you're showing up in the world, maybe the things that you felt you needed to be, but it is a soul energy and deep transformative state. So within the first 2 weeks, you may find that you're really perplexed and thinking about what this new thing is that you feel. We're also having Venus move into Pisces on the 25th. And we're going to be having a full moon in Virgo on the 27th. The shadow energy of you guys moving into February can be that you're looking at, okay, you inside of your connections, because your shadow sign is Leo, and we did just have a full moon in Leo, and some of that resonance is coming over as well as through your read with the higher heart chakra. If you feel you're clearing those energies, you can eat the green food groups. You can wear pink quartz, green again, higher heart chakra activation, because you are clearing a wound, but you're reflecting upon things and you're looking at passion and love. So it can be an awakening in that state, but initially it can be a little bit painful when we're moving through that vibration. Because it is a full moon, the intent is to finalize things, but it's also relating to, okay, what are my new findings? What are my new intentions I'm setting? What actions am I taking to move forward? The ruin that you have relates to Mars. So it's your passion, it's your desire. It can be fear-based frequency. We can be embodying that energy this month. But it's also where your power is in your life. This does connect to Capricorn. So in a traditional realm, we did have very heavy Capricorn energy. We also had very traditional viewpoints about what relationships were. Some of us may have been born into situations that weren't completely ideal, and we had mother-father energy that were maybe together, maybe they weren't. Maybe our viewpoint of what love was, we did the very best we could, and we've moved into those circumstances. We're really breaking down those situational shifts that we meditated upon last month, and we're moving towards these new findings. So this constellation relates to Capricorn. Currently it's in Pluto, which means, is there a paradigm in a situation that we need to let go of? Is there something that's really outdated in our value systems relating to the people we're interacting with that doesn't resonate with us any longer? Now, the color is black. So it may be that you feel you've been on guard, you need to protect yourself. Can you trust individuals? Is that coming up for you? Is it a necessity? It also can be earth and fire, grounded and passion, you know. Let's get into it. So with this room, on the mundane, personal needs, self-preservation, inventions on the esoteric level, it's spiritual needs, deliverance from distress, self-mastery, transcendence. In the reverse, it's greed, excess, impatience, extinguishing of the inner fire. Now, I will hyperlink this into the read and give you examples as to why that potentially from a psychic point of view can be playing out. You're also going to be meditating a lot this month, and it can be more third eye energy, communication. We're guided to speak with love, but also to speak with love towards ourselves. What our pain body is, what we're feeling to do with things, and how we're seeing situations. But I do feel a lot of you guys are needing that quiet time to think about how you feel before you articulate. Now, the first card you have coming through is Heart Chakra in reverse. Now, that can be simply that you are feeling something doesn't resonate with you. Maybe making peace with a experience that wasn't so great, or maybe not letting people in due to fear of, okay, is this messy? Clearing up mess. Facing our shadow again, you can see the shadow being cast. Again, I'm seeing the X here, which is very similar. It's the past. It's the feelings of, are my needs being met in these situations? Is there love in this? 9 times out of 10 we wouldn't be doing something if we didn't see the potentiality. I do feel there could be, and threes have been coming up a lot throughout the reads. The card has 3 energies on it. 1, 2, 3, and you in the mix of it. I do think there's 3 circumstances in your life. One is to do with you being able to provide for yourself. And it also can be taking crumbs, not really wanting to take crumbs. The other is birthing and co-creative energy. Like, what can I create? Where's my power in this situation? And the other one is moving too fast or moving too slow. Now, I'm seeing the debris on the floor. And, you know, it can be the emotions you feel, you know, the pain that's been left on the floor and you're having to pick that up. And what do you do with that? Be it it's with work, it's your friendship groups, it's love. And again, I have pulled energies relating to love. I am seeing, for some of you, there is a circumstance relating to an ex. Now, X marks the spot, but it could actually be a physical ex. Or it may be locating a wound that has not been healed. I am saying that there were burdens relating to love. Now, there was, and you know, it's always a deep responsibility, but we're growing beyond it and we're setting new intentions. There may directly be 3 paths. There may directly be 3 individuals. It may have been that you had been with this person on and off 3 times, but there's some correlating energy relating to 3. I'm hearing the term, okay, 1 minute. I feel you're very ready for a give and take relationship. For some of you, there might have been a third party. For others of you, it feels as though you're reflecting upon these circumstances and it feels something needs to be cleared up, cleaned up, healed, tidied up. But I do feel whatever this interaction is, whatever this mess is, you feel you want something simple. You don't want to create more mess. I feel if I'm seeing for some of you there could be a situation that you want to dig in and clear it up, but potentially it could be quite difficult and it's painful. And you're like, okay, how do I learn to trust? How do I learn to open my heart chakra so that I can feel safe in this situation? I feel some of you could be feeling as though the onus is on you. It's like almost the fingers being pointed. You're having to clear something up there. You know, the blame games there. Maybe even psychoanalyzing a situation and, you know, having this kind of responsibility on your shoulders that it's on you. That's sort of how it's coming through. I feel you're rejecting that. You're like, no. This is not how it stands. This isn't just the way it should be. And this can be at work. This can be in friendship groups. It also can be relating to home. Now, you did have a lot of activation in your home sector, and this can be to do with your daily routine. And you know, with this ruin, as well as the crystal, I'm getting a lot of lower chakra activation. And I do feel subjects to do with mother, father energy, wounds, having a revelation in relation to love. And love's just not romance. It can be mum, dad, brother, sister. Something's happened to activate a wound, and you're facing the shadow of that. You're looking at it and you're like, okay, I didn't realize that was there. I need to look at that. I need to make peace with it, because now potentially it's like, I just keep hearing X marks the spot. X marks the spot. It's like whatever that is that's come up, it's giving you a clue to you not allowing somebody in. And it's not just somebody, it's people, point blank, zero. For some of you, if you have 3 siblings, it could be your one and there's two others. It's how you feel inside of those circumstances, what role we're taking in those dynamics. And sometimes we wear different hats at different times. But I do see you seeing somebody else's perspective. Empath-wise, I feel you have feelings relating to this. I'm going to pull a clarify, because they're really pulling me here that something to do with this first week is pivotal. Pivotal in a point that you're going to have a deeper understanding by the end of the month, but something major's quite coming up. And I do feel you may be feeling quite light moving into the month initially, but for some of you, and that's not all of you, but others of you will be looking at, okay, why am I attracting these friendship groups? Why am I attracting these partners? Why are these circumstances playing out in all of my connections? There is healing here. It's like something's playing out to show you an element of the old versus what you want the new to be. You may be taking on a different demeanor inside of these. You may be actually doing mirror work and saying, okay, I want to break this pattern because it doesn't resonate with me anymore. And I really do see that happening with you. It's like you have a lot of plans this year. You got a lot of great energy coming through. But I do feel people almost will maybe embody a lot of your energy that you have experienced through your life. And it will be in the month of February, because we do have a lot of Aquarius energy. Whatever this healing is, you do want and have the intent to make things better. There could be a person that's unwell and you're concerned about them. You may be very empathic in a sense that it emotionally affects you and you want to fix it, but you don't know how. And it's like sometimes it's owning the fact that, you know, where do we have power and where don't we? You know, we're not Gaia in our own lives potentially, but there are some things that are completely out of our control and we do need to make peace with those things. I do see with the woman sitting on the chair, it can be a family related dynamic, and it's almost like, okay, are we going to keep going over a situation, or are we going to resolve it to a point where we make peace with it? And it's funny because the gentleman is actually wearing black. The ruin relating to getting grounded, a family related dynamic, a home related dynamic, and the passion and the anger that sometimes can come up, not all the time. It's like this situation's coming up this month to be reflected upon to bring new energy in. So it's going to shift. Now, by the second week, and I will come back if they've got more messages, but that's where it's standing right now. Let's make sense of the month as we move forward. Most of the energy moving into the month for most of the zodiacs has been in the upright until the second week. Yours is going in and out, right? As above, as below, as within. You're making sense of things. You're absorbing it. There might be a little bit of projection. Then you're coming back doing the integration. Now, as for communication, there can be a moment where during that new moon in Aquarius, you have this epiphany moment. And I do feel from a Mercury point of view, both from your thoughts and your speech, you're really going to be putting your money where your mouth is. Thus, the reason I'm wearing blue during Mercury retrograde, I'm on social media. So hopefully these messages come with love and light and they're articulated effectively so we can understand during these confusing times. It may not be, you may realize that some things aren't amusing anymore. if you're observing people's behavior, and I feel like the fly on the wall energy, you may not find them so attractive. And due to the fact that you're very Saturn energy, I think you may be leaving some people behind in a temporary standpoint. I am seeing a friendship group where you could be quite perplexed as to the behavior. Just do remember at the moment we do have that where a lot of us are having soul upgrades at the moment. There can be value systems coming up. We're diving into that deep psyche of our minds from a psychic point of view. And that's all of us collectively. So you may find that something's very serious. You may be taking a very serious standpoint and not finding something amusing. You may need to have that more, but at the moment it's in reverse. It's like not a laughing matter, you know. Try, and this can be even the way you're showing up. You may be dealing with very heavy serious situations, looking at what those changes need to be. You may be dealing with very drastic sudden changes, because fives are all about changes. And it's funny because you're taking it seriously. You are directly taking steps and taking a standpoint to make these changes. Other people may not be observing and doing such right away. But you, in your own element, I do feel you'll have the download enough to be able to articulate things effectively. But we do need to be careful that we're not too serious in the vibration, that we understand that this time in the next 3 weeks is very much a transformative state over a reactive state. But when we do have that half glass full energy, we can accidentally misinterpret information and it can trigger us. So just forewarned, forearmed. If that is playing out and you're not impressed and you feel people aren't taking the seriousness of the nature, we all have our very own perspectives, and it's almost, you have to look at our lineage and our conditioning. You've got one over here, you've got one over there, and you know, the languages of love all show up differently. I had a circumstance a very long time ago, and the way I related to a grandmother that was sick and the way my sister related to a grandmother that was sick, it was polar opposite, and it didn't mean there was less love either side. It was perspective and vibration of how we relate to that trigger. So it's looking at it, but they're all stories are relevant. That's sort of what's coming through. I'm seeing you to almost be, you know, going under the radar, getting to a point. There could be some people that you don't want to be harsh with them, but if they do sass you or come towards you, I feel you'll be very harsh. But it's not because you are. It's because of a circumstance happening very personal inside of you right now over it's completely a them, if you get what I'm saying. But wait till the second week and see how this plays out. You know, don't judge the book by the cover. Integrate that energy. Go through to the third week. Then, you know, see how you're feeling with this. But for some of you, I do feel you will be speaking. You'll either be thinking and moving and dealing with circumstances. You may have a lot of people talking to you or at you in relation to things. But you will take the responsible standpoint to hear it out. Some of you, however, can be at that different polarity, and you'll be operating more from a, look, I'm a bit concerned, you don't see my point of view. It can be very combative, so just be careful how it's coming through. Overall, there is something you're very focused on and you have a plan. Some of you are taking work very seriously. Some of you are taking what is occurring right now in your life very seriously, but there is going to be a shift, and I think it could be in relation to where you want to be, and it's just like a level up energy. I really feel that coming through for you very deeply. Now on the third week, ironically enough, we're having that full moon in Virgo, which again is the shadow energy is facing our hopes and dreams, our aspirations, our delusions, having to face some of those shadows. In the first 2 weeks, we can have adversity, things coming at us, really feeling that we can't handle those things, or it's just a bit much. So it's only natural by the third and fourth week, we're going to feel quite fatigued, but cleaning up the mess. you do have the Mercury energy, the throat chakra, the thoughts. It's like needing to remove yourself from white noise and start reacting to circumstances. So crazy. Crazy that I've gotten to your throat chakra and I'm embodying it. Now, the message coming through, and I'm getting two energies coming through with your read. So some of you are operating on a very higher spectrum. Others of you can fall back into the frustrated energy, okay? Now, dare to be happy. The image that I'm being shown is you're removing yourself from circumstances that aren't working. So there can be some things that happen during the month. This is what I'm saying, that you now have information. And it's almost like the missing key to your happiness. It's like, okay, I now have a solution. I have a viewpoint. And now I need to do something about it. And I do feel it's a huge level up. And I do feel by mid-month you're already taking direct action on this when it comes to your love life, when it comes to the people you're interacting with. Almost like you've had a psychic download and it's like, if I do this. And I don't feel it's a get-rich-quick scheme. I think it's more you have had clarity and you're going to have clarity relating to it. But it's going to be the key to your happiness. So it first always does happen within. And as you balance out your heart chakra, your manifestation of cash and love will flow. So if you found that missing link in the first week, like the laws of attraction during Mercury retrograde as well, point blank zero, we hear from people from the past. We have an ability to heal that. Being a full moon, it means we need to let go of the old. You know, some of these things can drag up in our auric field and we're talking about them. We can be spewing them out at people, but we're letting it go. We're bringing it up and making peace with it, compartmentalizing. With your work, with your goals, with your love, where you're going. Third week, you're acting. You're not talking, you're not thinking about it anymore. And I don't feel this to be a bad frequency. Some of you, it can be, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm channeling the ones that are in that vibration that will just get to a point. You're like, okay, no point in thinking, talking. What steps am I taking? I feel you're mapping it prior to doing it. I will say that. And it can be a standstill, but it doesn't mean there won't be forward motion. I think if anything, it's a slingshot effect. You will find that doing some inner child energy, the co-creative energy of what your intents are, balance the yellow chakra. You've got the blue chakra, but I'm really feeling it's to do with the yellow energy, which is the creative energy. I don't feel fair in this frequency. If you are feeling that during the third week, balance your sacral chakra. Have a look at why. Write down. Journal during Mercury retrograde. If you got time, you will have a lot happening. More will be activated happening to you. Whatever this is, I feel you're going back into spending time with people that make you laugh, spending time with people that are making you happy, but it's like this serious nature's coming through. I've got to level up. This is what I'm wanting. If I'm to make this happen, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Some of you are thinking back to a romantic partner. And it's what it was like to do that, even if you're not talking. Can love exist without communication? Yes, it can. Because it's two separate vibrations. We have loved ones that pass over and we still love them. But the attachment, the ability to communicate isn't there, but it still resonates. Sometimes we can even feel that if that person hasn't reciprocated, why are we in love with them? And is that okay? And it is. It's love. It doesn't mean because somebody's done something for you that you can't feel love. It just is. It's love. Okay, so making sense of that this week can be unique. But I do feel for some of you, you'll realise that you're different to what you were before. Therefore, the cake is going to be different. We're making a different recipe. We can't turn time back, but we can use that information and move forward. Now, I do feel your reality towards connections, you're going to have this art of appreciation all of a sudden. Plus, your co-creative endeavors are going to really start flowing by the 4th week. This can be where a lot of you are networking. If you've been looking for a job, I feel flowing energy coming, but probably even before that. I do feel benefits for your zodiac sign in the month of February. But it can be testing, and I can see some of you studying a great deal, really keeping your head down, being very serious. Others of you are wanting communication, talking to people, finding that that's your counseling energy to understand thyself. And through that process is giving you that healing and you're moving forward. But for some of you, there's that isolation energy of thinking about these things and having the space to do that. And sometimes the universe sort of forces that upon us, so that we can understand where we're going in life and not having that attachment, but doing that deep inner healing. So connections come up by the 4th week. I do feel that it will motivate you to pour your energy into circumstances. As you know, you have a benchmark, they have a benchmark. It's interacting connections. I do think connections are going to be deeply, deeply important. And some of you may be even supporting some people around you. I'm also seeing a pocket of you that may have dream state connecting to a loved one who has passed over, and they're trying to communicate something to you. You know, sometimes when we say the term listen, it's more what's coming up. How did you feel about that? Not how the other person felt. Sometimes our loved ones also can communicate through memory states. I'm seeing you link puzzles, and it's almost like you are the connection and you've changed over time, and it's like you've almost gone from here to there, and you're a higher ascended energy, but you're looking at the, you know, how those circumstances changed you, how all the separate interconnections through that process changed you, and where you are right now. I'm hearing as one door closes, another opens, but you're finding the group that you resonate with. Good old Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. I mean, you guys are the humanitarian of the zodiac. So, you know, this split consciousness we have at the moment is very temporary, but it's to help us find our tribe, that we have lineage, we have connections. People can pass over, we can be here. You know, the energy that they came to us with, they give to us, and what we do with that can be transformed and evolves with time. I feel, if anything, you're looking at purpose in life, and it's like, okay, what's my purpose? Where to from here? What's bright and light, and what am I guided to do now? I do feel there can be some reasons to get up and celebrate. I do feel you can have more purpose. But I'm also seeing the meditation, if you're taking time. For some of you, I've got to check your chart. I don't know why I'm saying marriage. Why am I saying marriage for? Oh, heck, Leo. That makes sense. Shadow sign be Leo, but it's also your Venus house. This month, really, you may find, because of last month, you're having a soul healing relating to relationships. But even though it's Mercury retrograde, you're ushering in a new energy. So where you'll be moving forward is brand new energy. So with painful situations connecting to work, love, a soul connection are coming in, or coming up. They're to show you something to let go, so this new vibration can come in. And that part can be a bit painful. And sometimes we can act reactionary, right? By the end of the month, you're not in that vibration. You're whole. You've done the full cycle. It's almost dark night of the soul, of those kind of relationship skeletons. How it affected you, how you came to the table, and what's happening to move forward. This card drops down to 11, and I do feel you'll be more in your yin and yang. some of you, I do feel there could be whatever you're letting go of, and it feels really profound. It's almost like I am seeing a wedding. And how do I put it? You're ready for a brand new way of having connections. It may not, there's friendship, it just flows, and there's nothing perfect. It's not perfect. It's what your ideal, what your vibration is. I mean, if you're in a connection, there's something very brand new occurring by the third week, fourth week. Now, in your love domain, let's see how this mirrors. Number one, you've got heart chakra activation, inner child wounds coming up. Now, you're going to be able to heal them. You're like, okay, what do I want out of this situation? Why am I attracting these energies? Why are these circumstances and family coming up? Whatever that is, you can be looking at the fact that you are changing the way you deal with individuals. But I do feel some of you can be extremely fertile. And I do think you do have fifth house. Yes, you got Gemini. You got the North Node in that area. So tapping into luxuries, doing things that's fun, that's really where your vibration's at. So sometimes doing that regimented routine of what's responsible, what's righteous and right, it can feel a bit tedious. So there can be this nurture kind of energy that's coming through, but there's also co-creative energy. So like the laws of attraction, you're going to be attracting relationships. We do need to be careful during Mercury retrograde. If you are single or an ex comes back, it's not a Venus retrograde, but it can be reacting that way, that we make healthy choices, not from a pain body experience. And we go into that, can you nurture me? But we nurture ourselves and go, okay, what do I want to come out of this? Not necessarily that we can manipulate that, but viewing it and experiencing it. Especially if there's communication that needs to come through to heal a situation, be open to it. But yes, of course, personal boundaries, but it does come down to us. It's like, what do we do? What don't we do? What do we want to do? Some of you may feel with particular people you dodged a bullet. Also, there could be a circumstance that you're viewing with another individual and you find it amusing. And I don't mean that sadistically. I mean you're seeing a shadow energy of who you used to be through another person, and it's eye-opening. So you're like, wow, I've evolved through that cycle. There could be a bit of projection coming either on your side or a soul connection. One side or the other seems to have that's coming through. It could even be where they feel you need to do something, but I do feel there's co-creative energy here. You can be highly fertile at this point, so do be careful in the first week. And pretty much throughout the next 2 years, you have activation of fertility, co-creative endeavors, launching businesses. It's very beneficial for you, but the changes that you need to make is clearing that energy in the heart chakra to manifest that in. The second week, with your assertiveness, trying to have playful energy, maybe trying to ignore circumstances, but making the changes, getting things done, hustle and bustle, it's because of a foundation issue. Some of you may actually want to move home. Others of you are just directly changing what isn't stable. That can be inside you first and then external. From a romantic point of view, there can be a person that is a distance. There can be subjects to do with proximity and love. And there also can be value systems of what to do with that money if you're in a connection. Where the stability is, where we're going to live, what our ideal is, and how we're going to do that. And doing that, contract work, paperwork, make sure you read the fine print. Overall, I do feel when it does come to your connections, I feel a lot of you will just want to have luxury and enjoyment. And there can be a lot of conversations relating to wounds and love. And I do feel communication, especially for those of you who aren't in communication. Yeah, either getting the downloads or it's a direct 3D communication. I really feel for a lot of you it is 3D communication. I do feel for some of you this can be contact from people from the past. Not necessarily as a romantic, but it feels more romantic in nature. Some of you, I'm seeing an individual that may be walking, and it's like there's a moment that occurs and you're thinking of it and it's raining. Now this can be just a psychological thing, but I'm physically seeing rain. And it's almost like channeling this individual on the card. I'm seeing it's like a release of something. You know, the rain's coming down, but I'm seeing a physical conversation about where the past was. But you're letting something go. You're choosing to be happy. There may be some information that comes in that gives you this clarity that you thought that something was one way, but it's actually another. And it's almost like cross wires. That's what I'm seeing. Two energies of cross wires. He said, she said energy. Now, I do feel whatever this information is, it's going to make you happy. I do feel the circumstances that were affecting you, you're like sweeping them to the side for a moment. You're having a little bit of a break. You're listening. Whatever this is, it can be gossip coming through. It can be the person directly speaking to you. Ideas swirling around in your head. But having a holiday and doing something that is just going to heal. Now, on the 4th week, inside your connections, you're in a better space, but you're planning. Not necessarily taking 20 steps, but seeing the potentiality within inside this connection. And there can be a lot of telepathic communication. I do feel you'll be able to learn through this person. You're both learning from each other. But viewpoints, I do feel a more open-mindedness when it does come to perspective and connections. Now, I also feel with this individual, it's making you motivated. Whatever this is, it's like your energy is shifting and you're attracting this person into your life. But your viewpoint is very different to how it was at the beginning of the month. Some of you may be a little bit, you may be having headaches in the first 2 weeks. Again, you know, pay attention to that, but just clear the third eye. Because when we're really stuck and we're trying to gain perspective, we can move into that. But we can have the high heart chakra. With the new moon in Virgo, it is also the higher heart chakra. So point blank 0 this month, you got first house and higher heart chakra. So there can be some perplexity to that and emotions. And I just feel you really wanting to shake it off and have fun. But I do feel with this romantic interest, there can be some like-mindedness. I do feel they've gone through a week of adversity. With the interactions and communication, I sort of do feel them at a distance to you for some reason. It's either you're making plans and you're trying to bring that together, but there's external circumstances going on. So there's temporary delays. And I've been guided to this crystal, and I feel it's in relation to them. I'm always at the right place at the right time with the right people. It's like, just trust it. It's not a personal thing. But there's something both of you are reciprocally changing at a very personal level to bring that together. Now, I will love you and leave you at this point. Do stay tuned for the Tarot Oracle Psychic Messages weekly. Is just romance. It's very different to this. This is your week-by-week energy to see the collective of what's coming through. Bear that in mind. The warning dates that you need to be mindful of is the 6th and the 7th within connections, especially from pretty much for you, because you do have Leo in the 7th from last month through till the first week, I would say. It can be testing and connections, but it's going to kind of smooth out. You're going to look at the mix and say, okay, where do I stand in this? What do I want? I think as the month progresses, you're going to be more anchored and grounded. and you will be taking direct action and movement. And people will seek you out because they're going to be going through that like-mindedness energy of feeling a little bit like, what is going on with these things? We don't understand why this is happening. So I do see that to be a benefit for your zodiac sign. But once you move through whatever this soul energy is going on inside of you, and it doesn't feel that anything here is a personal attack on you, it feels there's something transforming inside you. And I feel once you've done that, you'll be more open and trusting, and you will feel like a slingshot effect. You're moving forward, guns and home. Love and light. Stay tuned for the next messages, and I will also see you during the month. A very punchy update. Thank you so much for joining me. Should you wish to actually see the videos for your romance week by week, please click the bell. I will put the information in the community tab, as well as stay tuned for the astrology that will be coming to you probably by about mid-month. I'll be doing regular weekly updates, but I will give you the channeled messages week by week that comes to me, as well as for Twin Flame Path and the romance reads, and there will be extensions. If you do need a booking, the link is directly below. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful and safe month. Please drive carefully. Good old Mercury. And love and light, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for joining me, Gemini. Please click the bell so you do get all of the new content coming up. If you are a twin flame and want some coaching and some psychic downloads, I come to you regularly throughout the month, and I do have super chat should you have any questions during those sessions. Very separately, we have the members zone, and it's not to isolate the collective on YouTube, but to give you an opportunity to have a private coaching session in a room where we can feel we can speak candidly away from watching eyes. So if you do wish to be part of that, please come through and join. It's very laid back, and we can share each of our experiences with circumstances to make it through this journey. Very separately, we also have moon energy, astrology coming up, and more creative content. So please do have a wonderful month. The romance reads will be up soon, and they are guided psychic messages with the Tarot Plus extensions. Love and light. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for joining me.